Hey everybody, I'm Garrick DeMeyer from Royal Constrictor Designs. This is my part 2 of my catching up from vacation videos, trying to get everybody all caught up, including myself, on everything that's happened here during the week I was gone. So let's just get right down to it. I've got a few more animals to show you, and then I'm going to film another video right after this, which is going to be a little bit more. I've got a few more snakes to show in that one. So yeah, let's just get right down to it. This clutch here is from an Ultramel het hypo bred to a pinstripe double het Ultramel hypo, and I hatched out some pinstripes. These are 100% het Ultramel, 66% possible het hypo. They just look like typical pinstripes. And there was another male pinstripe and a female normal het in this clutch as well. I decided not to show those. This is a hypo pinstripe. You can see the difference here. The pinstripe has true black markings. The hypo pin is a little more orangey overall, and the pinstripe markings aren't a true black. They're like kind of like a darker gray. Hypo is another name for a ghost, and hypo is short for hypomelanistic, which means it has a reduction in black pigment, not an actual lack of black pigment like albinos, which I'm going to show you in a minute, but just a reduction. Okay, and then this one here is the crown jewel of the clutch. That is an Ultramel pinstripe. I'm not sure if there's hypo in it or not. I don't think there's ever been a hypo Ultramel pinstripe produced, at least none that I've ever seen. So I'm not sure, but I sexed this one already and it's a female, so she might as well just stay here. I don't have very many visible Ultramel females. I've got a few breeders, and then I've got some that I'm growing up to breed. So, you know, the more the merrier. And I haven't produced a hypo, or I'm sorry, I haven't produced an Ultramel combo of any kind yet. So this is the first one. I've got a lot of Ultramel combos in the works, but this is the first one I've actually hatched out. So that is the Ultramel pinstripe, doing her best to pretend she's a sidewinder. Okay. The next clutch I have to show you is from an albino bamboo bred to an albino pastel. And here's a bamboo. Really nice high contrast bamboo. You know what, actually I believe this must be from a bamboo het albino bred to an albino pastel, because otherwise we wouldn't have had a normal bamboo in this clutch. Very strange, I got the labeling wrong on my tub. I believe that's an albino pastel. Albino and pastel are sometimes kind of difficult to tell. Sometimes it gets pretty obvious as they get older. Some of my albino pastels have brilliant, like highlight marker yellow heads. But when they're hatchlings, they typically have pretty white heads in comparison to a normal albino. Okay, and then I have some albino bamboos here. And I'm not sure if there's pastel in these or not. The albino bamboo is a really interesting snake. It's really subtle. You really can't see, I mean, you could see pattern in it for sure, and it's got some really unique colors. You kind of have to see them in person to really appreciate them, and they do change a bit as they get older too. You see that contrast on the side, the markings. They're a real pretty snake. It's kind of like how the albino Mojave and albino lesser, albino butters, they don't really, it takes a while for them to get bigger and for their adult colors to come in to really appreciate how nice they are. And I've only raised up one albino bamboo so far. I've got a breeder male. So I don't have a lot of experience with them as adults yet, but I'm probably gonna, well actually, you know what, I have a female too. She's from 2017, so she's not full grown yet, but anyway, yeah, I'm gonna raise those up and you know, see how they turn out as adults, but I really like them as babies. They're not the most dramatic looking albino morph as hatchlings, but they're definitely nice. Okay, so I'm going to show you some more albinos. This clutch is from an albino black pastel bred to an albino pinstripe. And here we have just a nice typical albino. And we have this one here, which I think may be a black pastel, but I'm not sure. It's higher white than the other one, but it doesn't quite have the typical albino black pastel look, which would be this one right here and this one right here. You know, those to me, like if I had to make a determination right now, I'd say albino, albino, albino black pastel, and albino black pastel. These two I know without a doubt. They're awesome. As far as albino black pastels go, I think that they're probably my favorite albino morph, for at least one of them, because they maintain their contrast. You know, the colors don't change a whole lot as adults. You know, they're not going to be quite as high contrasted as adults as they are when they're babies, but in the albino black pastels that I produce, I haven't seen a lot of the yellow bleeding into the white the way a normal albino and a lot of the other albino combos do. So these guys, like if you want an albino that's going to stay bright yellow and bright white even as an adult, albino black pastels are the way to go. They're better than albino cinnamons, they're better than albino GHIs, you know, any of the darker combos that I've produced so far. Anyway, the albino black pastel is my favorite, I think. Okay, and then I got some pinstripes in this clutch. Here's an albino pinstripe. I don't think there's black pastel in that one. The black pastel and pinstripe, when those genes are combined, you typically get a real busy pattern pinstripe, like this one. This is an albino black pastel pinstripe. You know, then these two actually have maybe slightly darker colors, but they don't have as much pattern to them. So I'm not sure. These might just be really nice regular pinstripes. If one of these is a black pastel, I would say it'd be more likely to be this one. But typically with the albino black pastel pins that I've produced, they typically look like this, with like a really, really busy pattern to them. Lots of spotting in the sides. Either way, they're pretty cool snakes. I don't know. I really like albinos a lot. I've been working with them. I think I got my first albino in like January of 2001 or somewhere right around there. I've had them for a long time and I love them. Okay, and now let's move on to some other ones. Sweating. It's hot in here. This room is probably about 82 degrees and probably right around 82% humidity. It could be 99% humidity. I don't even know. All I know is it's hot and humid in here. It's a typical snake room in summer. Okay, this next clutch is from a GHI Mystic het lavender albino bred to a lavender albino. And here you have a pretty typical nice lavender albino. Not quite as white as a normal albino. Just a very slight hint of lavender, which is going to, of course, continue to get darker as it gets older. Here is a lavender albino mystic. They typically are fairly high white like this. They usually have a little bit lighter heads than a normal lavender albino. Okay, and then here is a GHI lavender albino. Really busy pattern, lots of white, lots of really nice colors. I kept one of these back from last year. She's looking awesome. Probably will keep one more back. I think I've got several more clutches of these coming, so I may keep another one or two back, because as everybody knows, I'm a snake hoarder and I can't help myself. Okay, then this one here is a lavender albino mystic. This one seems to have, I wasn't sure if this was, sorry, I said lavender albino mystic. It's a lavender albino GHI mystic. I only do one take on these videos, so when I make mistakes, I just try to correct myself and move on. So you'll hear mistakes quite a bit, I'm sure. So this is a lavender albino GHI mystic. It's got a little bit more pattern and color than the other ones that I've hatched in the past, which kind of made me think for a second maybe it's just a regular lavender GHI, but it's definitely a lot lighter. It's got a reduced pattern, so there's definitely mystic in there. So lavender albino GHI mystic. I have not produced very many of these. I think I've sold a total of one of them so far, and that is to the guy holding this camera right now. It pays to work here because you get first, well, you get second pick at everything. I get first pick. Okay, that's all for this video. I've got one more to shoot here, and then I got to get to work getting all these babies set up and getting them starting to feed. I want to try to get stuff on my website. This time of year, you know, this is in early August. I'm at the peak of the hatching season, so it's really hard for me. It's all I can do just to get the babies out of the incubator, let them shed out, and get them set up in these racks. This is a little over half of all the hatchling racks that I have here. I think we can hold a little over 1,200 babies here at any given time. So yeah, it's really all I can do just to get babies out and get them feeding, go into the grow up mode with them. Usually in fall I have more time to take pictures, and once the hatching season kind of winds down, I don't know if it's ever going to wind down this year, they just keep coming. So you know, if you don't see what you're looking for on my website, I've got a complete availability list on my website, and most of the time, as soon as I get all these snakes individually set up, I add them to that list. They're not all ready to ship immediately, but at least you can see what I have, and I price them as well. So if you don't see something individually for sale on my website that you're interested in, make sure to check that current availability list on my website, and then you can see everything I have. And just shoot me an email or give me a call, and we can discuss it. So anyway, make sure to check out my website, royalconstrictordesigns.com, and I will be back very soon with another video.